Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Holden Hardman. I'm so glad you're here checking out a video for the first time. Today, I'm gonna be showing my wife Arrival for the first time. We're taking a little bit of a break from some of the comedy movies. We will be getting back into them, but the reason we're doing this one is because you, Mike, one of our patrons, has the Spielberg tier and he's doing it for a second time. The first movie he chose for us to watch was 8th Grade, and now he's requested us to watch Arrival, and I'm actually pretty happy that he chose this one. We did a Alien week. Some of you guys will remember this about like a year and a half, 2 years ago. We watched not just like the Alien movies, the Ridley Scott movies, but also just movies that featured aliens. We did like E.T. and stuff like that. And this was on my list to do at the time, and we just never got around to it. I think that we had done pretty much like the full week, and we had already started going into like the next theme we were doing. So I am very happy to go back to do Arrival. I have not seen this movie all the way through. And this is one of those movies that we're gonna have to pay attention. Really good sci-fi flick, really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Amy Adams is a fantastic actress, and Jeremy Renner is in this one as well. I know the basic plot, the basic premise. I know there's some things about language. I know that Robot Chicken did like a really funny parody of it, but this is long overdue for me to watch the whole thing through. So I'm really excited to check it out. I know Jen loves alien stuff. We've been on many alien binges. I did an alien documentary. It's a feature-length documentary on the YouTube channel. It was right before I upgraded my camera, so when I go back and I look at it, I'm like, oh man, I wish those shots some of those looked better. But it's a true life story about this UFO case that happened here locally in Gulf Breeze, Florida. We're in Pensacola, Pace area, but in Gulf Breeze is like our next door neighbor. So we basically just like investigated the claims, and we did this whole thing. We had interviews with guys who worked on like the book from the 80s. It was a whole thing. So a lot of you newer subscribers aren't even aware of that, but yeah, we did that. I'll link it here if you want to check it out. All that to say, super stoked to check this one out. Jen, what are your thoughts going into it?
I am here for this, Mike. I am so glad that you picked an alien-themed movie because I love alien stuff. Me and Holden, like after a long day and we're in bed and it's time to kind of wind down for us, what do we turn on? Alien-themed stuff. So I'm really glad to kind of have that, especially because I don't feel like we've watched one in a minute. So I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. I have never heard of this movie though. Really going into this one blind. The subject matter is, you know, one of my passions. I love X-Files. I think it's probably like the thing that struck off. It's the thing that really got me into aliens. So I am excited to check this one out.
I mentioned when we did 8th Grade, the reason we have the Spielberg tier is, for one, I never thought anybody would actually do that tier, but also there's the financial reason. We have to make sure that we're like, this is what we do for a job. And a lot of the recommendations we get are really obscure, like 8th Grade, you know, that are good movies, but like we made $30 or something like on the movie itself, and we pay like an editor. So that was really the intention behind it. So if any of you guys are like, man, I will do anything for you guys to watch, insert obscure movie here, you know, maybe that would be an option.
Any movie, really.
Yeah, so he chose Arrival. Very happy to do that one, so thank you, Mike. Also, if you don't want to do the Spielberg tier, but you still want to support the channel, see videos like this one early and without ads. If you want to watch the full-length reaction to us watching Arrival, you can do that over there too. We have Arcane, we have the first 2 seasons of Invincible, exclusive videos. We just did a recent like video recommendation we'll be knocking out pretty soon too from patrons. We've been playing trivia like live, so if you want to play, like there's like a lot of stuff that we do over there. So anyway, check out Patreon. It's a great way to support us. But before we get into it, we can't forget the comment of the day. Today's comment of the day is not from an alien movie, but it comes from when we did The Room. Tommy Wiseau, we actually had Greg Sestero who played Mark. He came there for our intro for that. Thank you so much, Greg. I still love that you came over to my house to do that. But this comment I thought was fitting just because of the theme. This comment says, it's really a movie an alien would make if they only studied soap operas for a week. So accurate. Why does nobody point out that he's holding the bouquet of roses upside down like a crazy person? If you haven't seen The Room, you gotta check it out. Or watch our reaction to The Room. You can watch it right here. Thank you so much for that comment of the day. If you want your comment featured in a comment of the day, leave us a comment down below. We'll check those out. For now, let's go ahead and get into it. Arrival. This is one of Jeremy's favorite movies of that year. It's been a while since Jeremy's been on the channel, so I have to remind, he was in a lot of My Friend Watches videos back in the day. He's doing great, but I remember him talking to me about this movie when it came out, and he loved it. Directed by Dennis, you know what I'm talking about. Dune, he did the Dune movies.
Oh.
He did Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, which I still haven't seen.
I used to think this was the beginning of your story.
Oh, that's pretty.
Memory is a strange thing. It doesn't work like I thought it did.
There's no babies that die in this, right?
I actually don't know. Oh, we're good. I was like, that baby's not moving.
comes.
Oh.
Stick 'em up.
Is she the same girl that played in Wedding Crashers?
No, she's the same girl that was in Talladega Nights. Ricky Bobby is a driver.
Oh.
Amy Adams got range. She can do these like real serious pieces and also like really funny movies.
I love you. I hate you.
And this was the end.
Oh no. Oh. Oh no.
Thanks, Mike. I'm just kidding.
Now I'm not so sure I believe in beginnings and endings.
Oh man, I just don't even know how like parents
Yeah, I can't even.
get past that. Like I would just crumble, and I don't think I would ever be able to get up again.
You see that clip of Family Guy where Brian has his son? And he's like, hey, what would you do if Dylan was in a fire? He's like, oh my God, oh my God.
Mr. Banks, can you turn the TV to a news channel?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's convenient.
Have landed at as many as 8 other locations around the world.
Oh no.
Class is dismissed.
Oh.
Guys, that's not the aliens' fault. Like we're at the Walmart on Mobile Highway.
If this is some sort of peaceful first contact, why send 12?
Did you ever see the movie Contact? Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. You ever see K-Pax? That was a good one too. And Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, well, do I sound nervous?
It's a really nice view.
Really went with that open concept.
So I'm assuming that she got divorced.
Did we ever see a partner?
Well, she had a ring on. They focus on the ring.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
At least 1,500 feet tall.
2 penetrated Russian airspace. 1 in
I wonder if something like this is ever really going to happen to this level.
That'd be wild.
Regardless, we have approached.
Like official first contact.
Instead, we just have Stephen Greer projecting his mind onto spaceships.
Exactly the position I sleep in.
Borders are closed and flights have been grounded, stranding millions of travelers. 48 hours.
Forrest Whitaker?
I'm Colonel GT.
I like him.
Me too. Boy, got it!
Everyone's list when it comes to translations. You still have top secret clearance. I have something I need you to translate for me.
Where did you come from?
What do you make of it?
I mean, that was just noise.
How many, speaking?
2. How would you approach translating this?
I don't know.
So what can you tell me?
That it's impossible to translate from an audio file. I would need to be there.
I'm not taking you to Montana. This is not a negotiation.
You going to ask Danvers next?
Maybe.
Ask him the Sanskrit word for war and its translation.
That's terrifying.
Fine. You win.
He says it means an argument.
A desire for more cows.
Pack your bags.
All right,
Nice.
give me 20 minutes.
You take off in 10.
This guy keeps using leverage. I don't think he really has.
They always do that in
Yeah.
movies, though. They're like, you have 15 minutes.
It's like,
Make it 5.
Yeah, it's like, I'm the only one you've got. Y'all need to wait for me. I gotta go poop. I gotta shower real quick. I got things to do. Meanwhile, Forrest is just waiting in the car.
Renner played Sparrow, right?
Hawkeye.
Or Hawkeye, yeah.
Language is the foundation of civilization. It is the first weapon drawn in a conflict.
Ian Donnelly.
Yeah, that's right.
Banks?
Quite a greeting.
Yeah, well, you wrote it. Great. Even if it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Well, the cornerstone of civilization isn't language, it's science.
He's a theoretical physicist from Los Alamos.
How did they get here? Are they capable of fast and light travel?
I feel like, let's just start the easy questions.
How about we just talk to them before we start throwing math problems at them?
Who wants to, like, bombard them with...
Yeah. It could be like Independence Day, and they just start destroying everything. Did we watch the sequel?
I didn't even know that there was a second one. Whoa! Wow, that looks really great, though.
Yes, it looks good.
Looks like an Easter egg.
It's a really pretty landscape. Like, the scenery looks great. Dennis Vaudeville is really good about stuff like that, like beautiful imagery.
What was in there? Was it a body? Was it an alien? A corpse?
Who's being carted off in the medevac?
Not everyone is able to process experiences like this.
When gravity starts to shift and slides us out of the room. doesn't take 18 hours to pump fresh air into a room.
Atmosphere to rebalance CO2 content and pressure for us every time they open their door.
So you're saying they could suffocate us if they wanted?
We need answers as soon as possible. What do they want? Where are they from?
What kind of radiation exposure are we walking into?
Nominal. These are just for safety. There's a wall, like a glass wall. You can't get to them.
Oh.
The suits are clumsy at first.
That looks super comfortable.
Looks sweet. Oh, it's hovering. No sound, no obvious signs of propulsion, missing time.
I can't imagine seeing something like that in person.
I know. I wonder about the pilots that saw the Tic Tacs, you know, over the...
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what that is. We see that little crappy Fleur video, you know, but
Yeah.
seeing it.
I imagine there's an element of like, did I see it?
Yeah. I'm not saying that those are UFOs, you know, I'm just saying like it's something...
Of course they're UFOs.
They are technically UFO. I'm saying I don't, you know, they may not be extraterrestrial is all what I'm saying.
I think it's pretty clear what...
We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. It's possible. I want to believe.
There's just so much evidence that like we're not the only ones. The government has just brainwashed us to think, no.
It's gonna turn into something else.
Ugh.
Yeah, I would love to just like touch it. Like the Rendlesham Forest incident where they like saw the craft, allegedly. And there were like symbols on it. It was like there was a craft that was there. It was like down, but then it left. Allegedly. Or even Roswell and like the pieces that were recovered by that one colonel dude. Allegedly. There's a lot of stuff about Roswell. It's actually a place I really want to visit.
I mean, a majority of Americans believe that aliens exist.
I think it's one thing to talk about the probability of life on another planet versus has that life visited us, like these incidents that we're talking about. Are they extraterrestrial? Are they government black ops projects made to convince us of aliens for something else to come later? All kinds of things, all kinds of possibilities. Allegedly. Like, are we being primed to believe an alien invasion is going to come, but it's actually going to be a smokescreen for something else?
Usually the simplest answer is the truest one stuff.
The simplest answer is aliens.
As opposed to our military denying something, but actually trying to get us to...
That is dope. That is cool.
Yeah, that just happened.
Be so terrifying.
We literally talk like this when we watch like all these alien things. I love it.
I think it's pretty out of control. Oh, cool.
When are we gonna harness gravity? Gravity changes.
So they're just like in this ship waiting for these humans.
I don't know what they're chilling for. That always happens in alien movies too. They just like sit and wait.
Yeah.
Are they gonna draw first blood or is it like innocent contact?
Okay.
You wanted to be here. I tried to just Zoom with you.
Whoa, this is wild, man.
That's cool. That would be cool.
It's interesting because in this scenario, the response from the military does not seem to be on the aggressive side, whereas in a lot of alien movies, we see the government and the military
Mobilize.
Yeah.
They were, I mean, the Russian ones were doing stuff on the news, and there is like a military presence.
But the fact that they're like just trying to make contact with them is interesting. I wonder how like that would actually go if we were in this scenario.
I don't think we would actually attack first. I know everyone's like, yeah, we would, hold it. In real life, I think we'd be really, like, our finger would be like on the trigger, but I think we would try to establish contact. Cthulhu.
Like octopuses.
Octopi.
You can start.
Get to work. This is kind of a lot, guys. Well, dang, I feel like that was kind of a tease.
Oh!
Am I fired?
Better than the last guy.
What they do in Close Encounters? They were like, they started like shooting lights or sound at them. At one point, 65 in Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's something on that frequency.
St. Lawrence Pentecostal cult are feared dead after they set their compound ablaze.
Jeez.
Oh, did he play Sackler?
He did in Dope Sick. You have to tell them to individualize the dose. Yeah.
There's 12 of these things
Yeah.
in different countries?
Yeah, all throughout the world.
Look, I'm never going to be able to speak their words if they are talking, but they might have some sort of written language or basis for.
I feel like I'd be like, yeah, I'd want to get closer.
You say that, but
I mean,
if this
not-
was
not-
actually in person,
you're right,
there would be an element of like
Fear and like,
yeah.
100%. But like going in the second time, like that would be like, I just feel like my natural human curiosity. You're gonna go a little further, you know, a little further each time. But you're 100% right. Like if I was seeing this,
Those are really massive too.
yeah. I'm just saying, she's holding a sign from like 50 feet away. It's good, just a little bit, like looking through clouds and stuff, like The Mist.
That was such a disturbing ending.
I really hated that ending.
Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whoa.
Dang it! I feel like I want to see like more like them being there and like doing this stuff.
Is this really the right approach?
Trying
to teach him how to speak and read? Everything you're doing there, I have to explain to a room full of men whose first and last question is how can this be used against us? So you're gonna have to give me more than that.
Kangaroo. In 1770, Captain James Cook's ship ran aground off the coast of Australia, and one of the sailors pointed at the animals that hop around, and he asked what they were, and the Aborigines said, kangaroo. It wasn't until later that they learned that kangaroo means, I don't understand, so.
I can sell that for now. Remember what happened to the Aborigines? A more advanced race nearly wiped them out.
It's a good story.
It's not true. But it proves my point.
They can't seem to follow our algebra, but complex behaviors, that clicks.
Problem is, not everyone shares our policy of being open with the aliens. Have you met General Shang?
So there are other countries that are responding
Yeah, they're doing their own things.
in a more aggressive way.
You're gonna teach them your name and Ian's. These are all grade school words.
Where else, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's like-
curious, where else should she start?
No, not the top.
Why are you starting with such simple stuff? Why do you think?
First, we need to make sure that they understand what a question is. The difference between a specific you and a collective you. We want to know why they all landed. We need to have enough vocabulary with them that we understand their answer.
This is giving me so much anxiety because there's like so much they have to
Yeah,
cover.
it was really well done, Amy Adams. You're a good teacher. This is also why like online social media comments can get so hectic when a lot of the times it's misunderstanding. And then each of you are responding to the misunderstanding and you're not even on the same page.
Louise.
What is that? Is that a new symbol? I can't tell.
Dr. Banks, perhaps we should move on to the next road.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Insane?
They need to see me.
Dr. Banks.
Go back to your stations.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a screen there.
Yeah, they said there was like a glass wall. Y'all look kind of gross if I'm being honest.
Now that's a proper introduction. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Louise.
Screw it. Everybody dies, right?
Continue the session.
Ian.
Who are you? I think those are their names.
So what are we gonna call them? I was thinking Abbott and Costello.
I like it.
Wow.
Leave your respirator on until you reach the equipment room.
I know.
Well, I guess I don't need to tell you you're putting yourself at risk.
It's the first time we've made significant progress.
You don't need to worry, okay? Just calm down. You don't need to worry.
Outside being able to see them and hear them, The heptapods leave absolutely no footprint. The shell emits no waste, no gas, no radiation. The air between the shells is untroubled by sonic emission or light wave. If they're scientists, they don't seem to ask a lot of questions. The most plausible theory is that they chose places on Earth with the lowest incidence of lightning strikes. The next most plausible theory is that Sheena Easton had a hit song at each of these sites in 1980, so we just don't know. There's no correlation between what a heptapod says and what a heptapod writes.
They kind of look like
unlike
Thing from the Addams Family. Like
writing is semisiographic. Perhaps they view our form of writing as a wasted opportunity. Unlike speech, a logogram is free of time. Their written language has no forward or backward direction. Is this how they think? A heptapod can write a complex sentence in 2 seconds. It's taken us a month to make the simplest reply. You approach language like a mathematician. You know that, right? I watch you steer us around these communication traps that I didn't even know existed. I guess that's why I'm single.
You can understand communication and still end up single. I feel like everything that happens in there comes down to the two of us.
The first photograph of the aliens goes viral. 800,000 march on Washington to protest the government's handling of the crisis.
That's right, folks. The same government who ruined our healthcare and bankrupted our military.
I'm really focusing on this guy.
Them a show of
Guessing he's gonna go rogue or do something stupid.
What's this word?
Planet. It's like, the Earth is a planet.
We had to make up our own TV show. The show was called Mommy and Daddy Talk to Animals.
You know it's okay to be sad that your dad
I
and
know. I'm not. It's just a cartoon. Not real.
Louise, you all right?
When was your last checkup with Dr. Kettler?
Let me get some air.
How you feeling?
I need some sleep, but
You know, I was doing some reading. If you immerse yourself into a foreign language, that you can actually rewire your brain.
the theory that the language you speak determines how you think.
It affects how you see everything. Are you dreaming in their language?
I don't think that makes me unfit to do this job.
Something with that bird, too.
Did you sleep?
A little.
The voice you're about to hear belongs to China's military chief.
I'm predicting that in one of these countries, the aliens are gonna get aggressive, whether that's to defend themselves or...
An hour ago, China mobilized forces, and now Russia's following suit.
Colonel, those are all tile sets in Mahjong. Are they using a game to converse with their heptapods? Let's say that I taught them chess. Every idea expressed through opposition. Victory, defeat, you see the problem. If all I ever gave you was a hammer.
Everything's a nail.
I wonder how much time they're spending, like, each session they have.
Yeah. Seems like it's really the aliens leading it, like when they don't want to communicate anymore.
Oh, yeah, they're like, all right, we're out.
Yeah. So that's a sentence in those circles?
Do we only have Costello?
What does it say?
Offer weapon.
Ugh.
You saw what they wrote.
Using a word they don't fully
Really, just a
understand.
request.
We don't know if they understand the difference between a weapon and a tool.
Possible that they're asking us to offer them something, like the first part of a trade.
We go back in and we clear this up.
It's more complicated than that.
How is it more complicated than that?
We need to sit on this information until we know what it means. Consider the idea that our visitors are prodding us to fight among ourselves for a world with no single leader.
China and Russia are off the grid. They aren't speaking to anyone. Whatever they learned in their last session has them spooked. We have orders to do the same.
Can't shut us
Put
down.
us on radio silence.
Do it.
Oh, man.
We need to be talking to each other.
You want to talk to them? Find out what this means.
Always bad to cut communication.
Yeah.
No longer trust the aliens who want to divide us. Humanity must be protected.
What are you doing?
Still don't know the composition of their ship.
Yeah.
Maybe it's made of kachine.
Stupid roll.
You can't go back in. It's dangerous.
Look, we just need 5 minutes. Don't sweat it.
The escort units are not responding, sir.
Said security.
Are you offering us something? Yeah, see, this is a different word.
Oh.
What's he doing?
It's like, that's a racial slur in our language.
Captain, on your 10.
Okay, wait a minute. So, who ordered that?
I don't know, maybe they're going rogue. Guessing he's gonna go rogue or do something stupid.
Abbott wants me to write on the barrier.
I love that they call him Abbott and Costello.
I can't do it with both hands.
That's cool.
So they're able to somehow feel whatever she's feeling
I'm thinking so. That's what they're implying. Or like,
and interpret that in
Yeah.
their language?
Louise.
Oh my god.
that's frustrating.
What is that?
So they propelled them back to protect them?
It looks like it, yeah. They even closed the door to keep the blast in.
Who did this?
Some soldiers. I've been watching too much TV. The site's no longer secure. We're standing by to evacuate. Your whole tent is on the clock to figure out whatever it is you were given up there.
This is all of it. Get together with Louise's team. I need everybody working on this.
We cannot leave.
We can hope for the best, but I have orders to prepare for retaliation. We may have to evacuate.
No, that's the wrong move.
Oh,
Dang it, guys.
No.
They're like, they're not ready. We'll come back in another 1,000 years.
Well, they're not leaving.
Why does this feel worse?
China, they're positioning their military to blow the alien vessel out of the sky. Get prepared.
The aliens have 24 hours to leave Chinese territory or face destruction.
He was in Rush Hour.
Pakistan.
No one's talking to each other.
Again, such a stupid move.
It's going to take us years.
What's this term here? Mom. Where we make a deal and we both get something out of it. It's a competition, but both sides end up happy.
Like a win-win.
More science-y than that.
If you want science, call your father.
It's time to open that bottle you've been hiding.
You cracked something, didn't you?
Their symbol for time is everywhere. Nothing's complete. Then it dawned on me. How much of this is data? How much of it is negative space? 0.0833 recurring. Perhaps you'd like that as a fraction. 1 of 12.
We are part of a larger whole.
Or we're 1 of 12 contestants for the prize.
Why do I have to talk to him?
We're all working together here.
We're on our own.
But this says that all of the pieces fit together.
And I'm telling you that no one else cares.
They really make the military look stupid.
In their final session, many become one. I fear we have all been given weapons.
Russia just executed one of their own experts to keep their secrets. Why? Why not just give it all over?
Well, what better way to force us to work together for once?
How in the world are you going to get anybody else to play along?
We offer ours in return.
Like trade?
It's a non-zero-sum game.
Non-zero-sum game.
That's it. Thanks.
9 of the landing sites have gone total comms blackout. It won't be fast enough.
There's got to be a way to get the message to them.
And there's no way for us to reach them.
Well, hold on a second.
The Pentagon's convinced our shell will retaliate.
Made no act of aggression towards us.
Maybe this is their way of being aggressive.
How do we get you back in that room when it's half a mile straight up?
Oh, is it gonna beam her up?
It's like a probe. Maybe she'll just like get in and it'll take her there. We're only gonna talk to her from now on.
Gosh, what an experience that would be.
Yeah. You don't got any lights in here, guys? I didn't know the aliens were cool like that. Come on board.
She's actually in there with them?
Looks like it. Whoa, that's cool. Trippy. Whoa.
Right.
Where's Abbott?
He's dead?
Well, I guess he's dying. Death process. Yeah.
We're sorry.
Yeah, maybe he is like dead.
I need you to send a message to the other sites. What is your purpose here? How can you know the future? Who is this child?
Oh, she hasn't had her daughter yet.
Mommy and Daddy talk to animals.
The dad is Ian.
Who is this child? What a nice little twist there.
Whoa! That's their future child.
She sees future. So she's seen like the birth and even the death of her own child. Weapon opens time.
That's why she said, if you want science, go to your dad.
Right. And they don't work out, it looks like. Who is this child?
Whoa.
Like,
what a twist.
Hawkeye's gonna give her the old bow and arrow.
Holden Thomas Hardman.
That wasn't even that you can't, that's nothing even visual. So in 3,000 years they'll need humans' help. Here you go, babe.
What happened?
Russia and Sudan are following China.
Help me, Mama. Mom,
Get it together, Louise.
are you gonna leave me like Daddy did?
Jeez.
He doesn't look at me the same way anymore.
Oh.
It's my fault. I told him something that he wasn't ready to hear.
What?
I know something that's going to happen. And when I told your daddy, he got really mad. It has to do with a really rare disease. And it's unstoppable. Kind of like you are.
Probably the best way that you could tell your kid that she's gonna die.
I mean, she didn't really tell her this.
I mean, she did.
She basically said, you're never gonna die. You're unstoppable.
Well, no, she was equating the condition to being unstoppable and then saying that she's unstoppable, so.
My husband left me.
In theory, she did.
Reminds me of Team America with police. I promise I will never die.
Mama, what's my name, Hannah?
It reads the same forward and backward.
We're taking this with us.
I'm learning my daughter's name.
I can read it. The weapon is their language. When you really learn it, you begin to perceive time the way that they do.
Oh, that's cool.
You can see what's to come.
We did our best, but it wasn't enough.
I'm gonna find out where we're going.
Dr. Banks, your president said he was honored to host me after. The only reason why I'm here is to meet you in person. Now, 18 months ago, you did something remarkable.
What's that?
You changed my mind, all because you reached out to me on my private number.
I don't know your private number.
Now you know. I believe it was important for you to see that.
Does she share the information with them?
Well, we know she writes the book on the language, but it looks like she's like her consciousness is bouncing through time.
She was talking about like how they needed to get in touch with them.
Shut down the system.
There's a sat line here dialing China. It's your phone, sir.
Hold on to those coordinates.
Yes, sir.
I will never forget what you said. My wife's dying words.
将军，我在美国营地。将军，
凭智勇士
他求你应凭之。
What are you doing?
Changing someone's mind. Can you buy me 20 seconds?
Dr. Banks, drop the phone now or we shoot.
Jun.
You are committing an act of treason. Drop it!
It's done. I'm done.
谢谢你。
China is standing down.
Intelligence they have received will be shared immediately.
One of the 12 pieces of this puzzle that is being slowly...
So can this ability for her to see the future, is that given to her somehow by them, or did she have that just...
She said that it's like, as you learn the language, it's like something that will naturally happen, is what she was implying, which means like that anybody that,
learns the language.
Yeah. Like as they really begin to understand it, you begin to think, I guess, like them. And part of that means time. Oh, that's cool.
This is where your story begins. Despite knowing the journey and where it leads, I embrace it. I welcome every moment of it. H-A-N-N.
It's like Forrest Whitaker. Now, that would be a twist.
Gonna roll over you. Oh, guess what? Star stuff.
If you could see your whole life from start to finish, would you change things?
Say what I feel more often. I don't know.
What was the original reason that they came, though? Because they needed help?
I think
they were trying to build a rapport?
I think so. I think that's the whole purpose. And to give them, humankind, their language so they can kind of see and prepare, I guess, for whatever that help is.
I forgot how good it felt to be held by you.
You want to make a baby?
Yeah.
Directed by Dennis Viacom.
It's not even close.
I know. I've been trying to make a running joke where it's always something different at the end. I'm just gonna, commenters are just gonna get mad at me, but I thought it was funny. Just finished watching Arrival. I absolutely loved it. I wish I would have seen it back in 2016 when it came out. Even the clips that I saw didn't do nearly enough justice of like what the movie is and like the premise. I love the sci-fi aspect of it and the importance of communication. I don't know like what the overarching message is supposed to be, but to me what it seemed to be was sort of a commentary on just communication and the importance of making sure that there is like open communication. I think it's super easy, especially in our culture, to stick with like-minded people and not to go outside of that. Or even worse is to say, not only are we in like-minded groups, but our group is morally superior than that group. And I think, you know, without going into names, I think it's easy for us to maybe get caught up in that. I am a firm believer in open communication. So like even if somebody is polar opposite of me, to be able to engage in a free exchange of dialogue without being demonized. And I think that's like our culture doesn't really value that so much anymore. It's either you're either with us or you're horrible, you're evil. I'm just not a fan of that. And so I love like the whole visualization of the countries turning off their communication and like how damaging that is. Fun statistic, if you will, 65% of divorces list a lack of communication as being the #1 cause or the reasoning for divorce. In your workplace, 85% of employees cite miscommunication as a reason why they're either unhappy or they're not effective at work. I mean, it is huge. And so anytime that there's like a blockade or a stone wall of any kind, culturally, politically, religiously, like where we're not talking to each other, a divide and a rift becomes so much more apparent. And your mind even now is probably going to where, yeah, if things are getting worse in this area, we've got to be able to talk to each other without demonizing the other side. And to take a level of humility to say, shoot, maybe I am wrong. I don't think so. I think the evidence clearly supports my side, but I've got to be open to that being a possibility. And that takes a level of humility and extending an olive branch that we don't even really see emulated a whole lot, just like in culture, movies, on the political stage, like, you know what I mean? So that's like really tough. And just like I think we also take like if I do that, if I say maybe I'm wrong, we almost view it as like a sign of weakness in our culture. Because if you're wrong about that, then nothing else you say matters. And that's of course a fallacy. So I loved that. That's what I got out of it, the whole communication, the importance of that communication. And that's something that is like really important to me and Jen, just like in our relationship, to make sure that we are always talking. Like when we're not seeing eye to eye, we talk. Anyway, so I love that. You can tell tell I was really excited about that. I loved it. Jen, I'm talking about the overarching messaging of it. As far as the movie itself, beautiful cinematography. Dennis Vaudevant does a great job. Amy Adams, killer performance. I love the twist of the seeing the future and who is this child? Me and Jen were just like, oh my gosh, she's not. I'm a sucker for time travel, time stuff. So like the idea of like her consciousness like bouncing back, like where she didn't recall the phone call in the future to the Chinese Prime Minister. So he had to tell her what those words were so that herself in the past could say it to him. Or loved all that. A killer. Killer. So I loved it. Oh, and the score can't be understated. I mean, that sometimes gets kind of forgotten in reviews, even in our reviews. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Jen, what did you think about Arrival?
I really enjoyed it as well. I think one of the big things for me when it comes to this movie is that, you know, we have these like pop culture ideas and references for what we believe aliens look like, what they would be like. And in this movie, it really veered off. Like it was not anything close to, besides the whole UFO itself, the actual aliens and their means of communication really have not been formatted in that way before, or I have not seen it in that way. So I really appreciated that. Normally with the aliens, we imagine them the little tiny people with the big eyes and the big heads and the little bodies. That wasn't anything close to that. I appreciated that. I'm glad that they didn't go the normal route. It looked beautiful, I agree. Some of the images in this movie were just mind-blowing. Them circling around and seeing like an aerial view of not only the terrain, but the UFO itself, I thought was really, really great. This is one of those thought-provoking movies that I feel like I need to absorb, possibly watch a second time, because there's just so many aspects to this movie. We have like the situation with her daughter and the predicament of knowing what is going to happen to her. Does she still move forward with her life in a way where she knows what she's gonna have to experience with her daughter dying? That for me is like really heartbreaking to think about. It's so great to have in this movie because we have the situation with the aliens, which is so complex on its own, and the idea of trying to communicate with them. And it truly feels like Louise is the only person that really understands their language. Because of that, that naturally leads into her having this ability, understanding that language. Now she sees what's going to happen in her life, right? And I love how those were kind of conjoined together and were seamless throughout the movie. Loved the twist that like her and Ian hooked up and that was their child together. The reason why they were no longer together was great. And I love that this movie did a really great job at showing just how complex language and communication can be. You know, for instance, many times she was able to understand that they were using the word weapon, but everybody in the military were assuming that they meant it in an aggressive way, in a harmful way. So I think that that's like very symbolic of everyday situations that we deal with. So I thought that was great. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I would absolutely watch it again. I loved it.
What would you rate it?
I think it really did a great job at focusing on like the danger in not only assuming, but misinterpreting what somebody is trying to communicate. And I think everybody can understand that on a small scale in their everyday lives. And then I just love the idea that it was aliens, you know, and in a very different form than I'm used to. And it's so interesting to tackle the idea of communicating with someone that you know nothing about their language. You're really starting at scratch. And she did a great job of like breaking down like why we have to start with like very simple things. So I thought that was fantastic. I would watch it again, 100%. I think I'm gonna give it a 9.5. It was really well done, very immersive, very thought-provoking, very well done.
I agree with you. I mean, my rating's pretty high. I mean, even on YouTube, I don't always respond to comments that I would like to because constantly I'm just thinking of like, how can this be misinterpreted? There's a really funny Key and Peele sketch where they're like texting each other back and forth, and one of them's like, just like, hey, yeah, dude, let's get up anytime, any place. And Keegan-Michael Key is like, oh, you want to go anytime, any place? And I think that's really true, like in written language, so like comments and stuff. And I think that's why like places like Reddit and like any social media can be like really toxic in comment sections, but in real life, like you don't really run into those type of situations a lot unless you yourself are the a-hole, you know? But it's so common online, and that's one of the reasons for like most of our like communication as humans is actually so much of our body language, our tone, our eye contact even, and not so much the word, like the words that we're saying themselves. And so when you remove all that and all you have is the words, even texting, have you ever like been hanging out with someone or interacting with someone, they're like super friendly, and they text you, and for some reason sometimes it feels like they're being short with you, or you're like maybe reading tone that there may or may not be given. It's the same kind of thing. And I find that whole field of communication to be really interesting in general for those reasons. And so with that in mind, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I think culturally we usually jump to the worst case situation when they communicate. So like if there is a misinterpretation, we think that they're being hostile, or we think that they're being a jerk or whatever. So I'm trying to, and I'm not perfect about it, but I try to generally stick to, maybe I'm misinterpreting this, maybe they're not being that way. And then even go for clarification, like that's part of communication. So all that's great, I loved it. I'm up there too. I would give this movie, I was gonna say a 9, and then before you gave your rating, and I was like, but my instinct, my gut is a little higher. So I would give it a 9.5 as well. I think it was really solid. Thank you so much, Mike, for this recommendation. I loved it. Of course, these are just some of our thoughts. We'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. So leave us a comment down below. We'll check those out. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe. You can be notified when we post our next video. And check out Patreon. Even if you're not a Spielberg tier, there's still a bunch of great perks like watching videos like this one early and ad-free, watching full-length reactions, exclusive videos, a lot of great stuff I already talked about earlier. But anyways, for now, that is it. Jen and I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video, everyone. Take care.